Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. A man shot outside court. The victim on bail on firearms charges. Police say they're conducting an extensive search for that missing U.S. woman, but her whereabouts still a mystery. And the BPSU says it would not support a mandatory retirement age increase. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, June 27th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Duquesa Dean will be here with us. Also this morning, we're meeting more of the youth ambassadors for SDGs and climate change, part 2 of our special series with them. That's coming up. And then later in business, the business community reacting to tax compliance checkups that have been branded as heavy-handed. We'll hear from them in our 9 o'clock hour. That's all ahead, but first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, a man on bail on firearms charges shot outside the Magistrates Court on South Street in Nassau. After he appeared in court, police identified the victim as Raphael Nemor. Deputy Commissioner of Police Limon Delaveau saying yesterday that police learned of the shooting via ShotSpotter. He said police from the nearby Nassau Street Police Station and officers attached to the court found the man lying in the parking lot outside the court with gunshot wounds. He was taken to Princess Margaret Hospital and was listed in serious but stable condition. Delaveau says police intend to increase security around the court. He says they're following significant leads in the matter. He said the shooter or shooters fled in a small Japanese vehicle. Meanwhile, Shadow Minister of National Security Shannon Cartwright, who's also the MP for the St. Barnabas area in which the shooting took place, says the shooting is deeply concerning. Also, police have so far used drones, their K-9 unit, and divers in their search for missing American woman Taylor Casey. But up to yesterday, this has all turned up nothing that pointed to her whereabouts. Investigators giving an update to the media yesterday, the update coming not long after they met with her family at the Criminal Investigations Department. The 41-year-old Casey from Chicago traveled to the Bahamas to attend a yoga retreat on Paradise Island. Employees from the retreat reported her missing last Thursday after she failed to attend some classes. Bahamas Public Service Union President Kingsley Ferguson says that his members would not support a mandatory increase in the retirement age. Ferguson said that if the government wants to move ahead with it, it should be optional and not compulsory for workers. And Central Grand Bahama MP Iram Lewis accusing the government of being hypocritical over its decision to purchase the Freeport property that once housed the Princess Towers Hotel and the International Bazaar. Lewis noted that when the PLP was in opposition, it heavily criticized the Minnis administration for purchasing the Grand Lucayan Resort in 2018. During the budget debate, Prime Minister Philip Davis announced the government plans to spend $30 million for the purchase and redevelopment of the International Bazaar, as well as the purchase of the Royal Oasis Resort. Both sites were once key landmarks for Grand Bahama, but have since been abandoned. Lewis claimed the decision to purchase the vacant properties is not much different from the Minnis administration's decision to purchase the still functioning resort the Grand Lucayan and take on its operational expenses. Overseas, led by a top general vowing to restore democracy, armored vehicles rammed the doors of Bolivia's government palace Wednesday in what the president called a coup attempt. Those of dissenters quickly retreated, the latest crisis in the South American country facing a political battle and an economic crisis. Within hours, the nation of 12 million people saw a rapidly moving scenario in which the troops seemed to take control of the government of President Luis Arce. He vowed to stand firm and named a new army commander who immediately ordered the troops to stand down. Soon the soldiers pulled back along with a line of military vehicles, ending the rebellion after just 3 hours. Hundreds of the president's supporters then rushed the square outside the palace, waving Bolivian flags, singing the national anthem, and cheering. And a former Chinese defense minister expelled from the ruling Communist Party and is being investigated for corruption and bribery. That's according to the official news agency reporting today. Li Shangfu was removed from office in October 2023 after disappearing from public view for almost 2 months. China's former defense minister Li Shangfu was expelled. The defense ministry is saying Thursday that Li had abused his authority to enrich himself by taking bribes and granting favors in violation of military and party discipline. And anticipation is mingling with fear across Haiti as the country welcomes the fourth major foreign intervention in its history to fight gang violence choking the Caribbean country. A couple hundred police officers from Kenya met early yesterday with Prime Minister Gary Conille as they prepare to deploy in upcoming days. No one except high-ranking officials knows their assignment, though, which officials have said is for security reasons. Expectations are high. Haitians are scared and tired of gangs that have pillaged their way through the capital of Port-au-Prince and surrounding areas, killing, raping, and kidnapping thousands of people in recent years and leaving hundreds of thousands of others homeless and unemployed, which in turn has deepened poverty. The first UN-backed contingent of foreign police arrived Monday. They will later be joined by police and soldiers from the Bahamas, as well as Bangladesh, Barbados, Benin, Chad, and Jamaica, for a total of 2,500 personnel. In sports, the stars of track and field in the Bahamas out in full force, trying to reach the global standards in the junior and senior ranks. At the end of day one of the B3A's Kids Athletics Invitational and Junior and Senior National Track and Field Championships, there weren't any additional qualifiers, but there were some strong performances. University of Florida Gators sophomore Wanya McCoy is already on the road to Paris in the men's 200 meters and was trying to get there in the 100 meters last night. He won the open men's in 10.16 seconds, falling short of the automatic qualifying time of 10 seconds flat. Texas Tech University Red Raiders junior Terrence Jones finished second in 10.49 seconds. Samson Colbert third in 10.50. Again, McCoy has already qualified for the Olympics in the men's 200 meters, running a personal best time of 19.93 seconds earlier this season. The qualifying time for the Olympics is 20.16. In the women's 100 meters, Camille Rutherford won in 11.47 seconds, falling short of the qualifying time for the Olympics. Qualifying time there, 11.07 seconds. And Thea Charlton finished second, running 11.53. Prentasia Johnson third with 11.83. In a showdown at the Peace and Friendship Stadium in Greece, Montenegro emerged victorious over the Bahamas with a 93-80 triumph in the opening game of the men's international friendly games. Led by stellar performances from Franco Miller Jr. and AJ Storr, Team Bahamas showcased tenacity and offensive prowess, but it wasn't enough. They're going to play Greece today. And more from basketball, but NBA basketball. With day one of the NBA draft and France making a big statement. American college players have to wait their turn in the NBA draft these days. As France is showing some dominance, the Atlanta Hawks took Zachary Richachet as the number one pick. And France landed 3 players in the top 6 in an historic night for France. The 19-year-old forward was the winner of the Best Young Player award in the French League last season and beat out fellow Frenchman Alex Sarr in the race to be the top pick. Sarr went second to the Washington Wizards after playing last year with Perth in Australia's National Basketball League, but again, he is from France as well. The Hawks had only a 3% chance of winning the lottery to earn the number one pick, and there was no obvious choice waiting once they did. Most mock drafts were split between Richachet and Sarr, and Atlanta also worked out UConn center Donovan Clingan. Houston made Kentucky freshman Reed Sheppard the number 3 pick. Day 2 of the draft continues today. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Mid to upper level troughing across the area, coupled with available tropical moisture, will continue to generate showers and thunderstorms across the islands. Meanwhile, a plume of Saharan dust will shift westwards across the southeast and central Bahamas today, limiting shower and thunderstorm chances across that part of the country. That Saharan dust means that there's a Saharan dust alert for the central southeast Bahamas through Friday. People suffering from allergies and respiratory issues should take care, as this could affect their health. And heat indices could approach the triple digits, and UV indices will be high to extreme. And everyone's being advised to remain hydrated, wear loose-fitted garments, and sunscreen when outdoors. Try to take frequent breaks from the sun. Boaters should also be alert for possible waterspout and funnel cloud activity. For all areas today, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds, warm and humid, with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Expect hazy skies across the southeast and central Bahamas. Mostly fair tonight with a stray shower or two possible. Winds gusty and higher seas expected in showers and thunderstorms. Wind southwest to west at 10 knots, 10 to 15 knots in the northwest Bahamas. Southeast to south at 10 to 15 in the central and southeastern islands. Seas 2 to 4 feet. We're looking at highs getting up to around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius, but again, the heat index will make it feel a lot hotter than that. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. Your first look at weather, brought to you by Easy Car Sales, inviting you to discover the world of electric vehicles. There are 3 quality brands and many models to choose from. Sedans, SUVs, and pickups are all in stock, even commercial vans and trucks for your business. The road to sustainability starts with a single test drive. Visit easy242.com and get on the road to a better electric future.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
The old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Cades Village, or call 396-1100.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now on a Thursday, got Duquesa Dean. Duquesa doing a switch with Laverne this week, but hey, great to have you with us.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here. Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
Hope you're doing well.
I am. How about you?
Yeah, pretty good. Got a lot to talk about this morning. We're going to meet, it's part 2 of a series we started last week, meeting the youth ambassadors for climate change and sustainable development goals. We've got 2 more to meet this morning, and looking forward to talking with them. And then later in business, the business community is reacting to that shocking video that we saw this week of tax compliance officers, I guess we can call them, doing whatever they were doing in the middle of the day in stores while customers there with. We'll find out what the business community really thinks about this morning. So that's all ahead, but there is also a lot to talk about in the news. And then the news, this is just unbelievable. Man shot outside court. Yeah, we see this in movies and TV shows all the time, but I can't recall, not saying that it hasn't happened, but I just can't recall anything so blatant as this in a long, long time, if ever. Our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about it. A man on bail on firearms charges was shot outside the magistrate's court on South Street off Nassau Street yesterday after he appeared in court. Police identified the victim as Raphael Nemore. Deputy Commissioner of Police Limon Delavo said police learned of the shooting via ShotSpotter. He said that police from the nearby Nassau Street Police Station and officers attached to the court found the man lying in the parking lot outside the court with gunshot wounds. He was taken to Princess Margaret Hospital and was listed in serious but stable condition.
Wow.
Delvo said police intend to increase security around the court. He said, quote, "We are following significant leads. We believe we are on a good path to solve this matter very, very shortly." He said the shooter or shooters fled in a small Japanese vehicle. Meanwhile, Shadow Minister of National Security Shannon Cartwright, who's also the MP for St. Barnabas, said the shooting is deeply concerning. He said, quote, "Today's incident of a shooting at Magistrates Court, which resides in the same compound as the Nassau Street Police Station."
Right.
"Is brazen, shocking, and alarming." Cartwright in his statement said, quote, "This incident further highlights, unfortunately, the tragic state of crime and gun violence in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The fact that our courts and our police stations do not serve as a deterrent to an armed assailant intent on harming others is beyond troubling. We continue to agitate for a comprehensive plan from this government."
I mean, I don't know if we should be surprised about it, Dwight, because was it last year or was it earlier this year when the young man was shot in the police station in the gas station right across from the police station? So it seems like there's no fear of police officers or police presence. People are just getting bolder and bolder in their violence.
Yeah, I mean, this one's a little worse, though. I mean, again, it's right in the same complex. And it's the court, for God's sake. Seriously, this is wild. Only on the most dramatic movies and TV shows do you see anything so crazy. And, or the U.S. on the news. Sure, but we're not them. We're not there yet, I hope, right?
Yeah, it looks like we're edging in that direction with all of the gun violence.
Yeah, this is crazy. Really crazy. And let's get your reaction to it all. You need to see the papers. If you're on our social media, Nassau Guardian, on Facebook, there's some dramatic pictures. It was raining yesterday, and there's a woman at the scene of this shooting on her knees in the rain in the parking lot. It is very dramatic. This was really quite something. And Makes you wonder where we are. What is going on, right? Give us a call, folks. Let's talk about it. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Wow.
I know it says that he was on bail and he came to court.
Yes.
But we have no idea of what he's on bail for.
Yeah, firearms charges.
Firearms charges. Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'd love to know more about this story.
Yeah. Wow. So, again, let's hear from you. This is a text. We're politically battle ready, but people are being shot outside the court. Failed nation, anyone? Well, I wouldn't go that far. But priorities for some people are a little off, a little skewed. And some people might not be in touch with what's really going on in the place. Mm-hmm. And, but people are doing what they feel they need to do to survive, which often doesn't mesh with what other people are in need of, right? So that's really unfortunate there. So, hey, let's continue to talk about it. What do we do? The police are they going to step up security outside the courts?
I mean, I just for me, it's I don't even think that makes that much of a difference because the criminals do not seem to be afraid of the police. They'll shoot the police in the execution of whatever assignment they're on. Yeah. It's for me, it's the mindset. Like, what is the mindset of a person that says, I am going to go in a facility where there are usually police officers and there is a station literally minutes away to shoot someone to get away? Does it mean that they are comfortable understanding that there may be no consequences, they may not be caught, there's no fear? I'm just very confused.
Yeah, I think you got it. That's it. The consequences might be minimal. They don't care. Hey, it'll be a slap in the wrist.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. There are some good lawyers out there. They can really confuse the jury, and they can introduce all manner of concepts that people will say, wait a minute. Yeah, you're right. So it seems people are quite willing to take their chances.
Correct.
Yeah.
And in a sense, this sounds really bad, but I'm glad that it was just one person that got injured, because it could have even been a situation where there were innocent people around who may have been hurt while they're trying to take out this particular target. So there's a lot to be concerned about.
Yeah. I don't think they care.
Right. They don't care.
No. Not at all.
They really don't care.
Yeah.
What does that mean for us, though? Normal citizens. I mean, we may say, they're targeting each other. They're wiping out each other. At the same time, though, there could be crossfire. Innocent people could be impacted. But what does it say for us? What does it do for us who are law-abiding citizens?
Be careful. That's what I'm saying. Be careful where you are. Pay attention to your surroundings. Be mindful of people with court matters out on bail. Be very careful.
Yes.
This texter says, last week I saw about 100 guys on motorbikes speeding and causing havoc. I asked, where are the police? Then a man is shot outside the court by a police station. We have a serious crime problem on this little island, but nobody seems to care until their loved one is a victim. Yeah. This texter says, I listen in all the time. Brayman is right. Every time he calls, he says we need justice, law, and order. I listen to him every day. He is right. This incident is disgraceful.
Mm-hmm. Totally disgraceful.
Another person says, could it be that they are not afraid because they are... Oh, Lord.
I can imagine.
I'm going to read it anyway. Because they are affiliated with the police. Wow. Okay. Who knows? It could be, but it also
Anything
could
is
be
possible.
they could hire the great lawyers that we have who have been shown to have a wonderful track record in getting a lot of people off. But let me continue to read your text. They say also innocent people and judges could have been killed. I bet they would then take it seriously. Nassau looks like one big shanty town with illegals running wild. So how could you find the assailant if they are foreign? Now, how you going? How did you get to that? I mean, where'd that go? Anyway, okay. Guess we'll wait until people are being burnt in the streets with tires. Oh, Lord have mercy. Again, China, Cuba, other countries are not filled with thousands of criminals. Only one country that is invading us the most is. Oh, my God. Okay. Well, China and Cuba have very different systems. Are you proposing we adopt those systems? Is that what you're saying? Because you certainly wouldn't be able to text a show like this if we did. So let's talk sense now. Which one are you suggesting? And that one is a failed state. So these are very extreme cases and examples that you're giving. Lots of other democracies, peaceful democracies exist, and we certainly aren't making any attempts to be like them. So what's really going on here? This person says that picture of the woman in the rain looked like a still from a movie. And they're saying kudos to the photographer. Well, yeah, kudos to the photographer indeed, but this is still just a real horrible situation that so many Bahamian people are enduring every day. The pain and the trauma that we're seeing in photos every day, and people gloss over it and move on. What's next?
I think, and do you think that we've just become desensitized to some? Not everyone, we're accustomed to seeing these sorts of scenes like in movies, like the text has said. It looks like the scene out of a movie. So it's like this is almost so commonplace.
Yeah,
this is just regular.
Absolutely, it's terrible. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
It's just hard sometimes because I feel as if nobody cares. I don't know what happens, how bad it gets. Like, we talk about it, we say we're surprised, but nobody cares and nothing changes. It's like, ever since, I don't want to make it political per se, but before election, like, the opposition always has all the answers, all the ideas. I remember one candidate was talking about police body cam videos or footage and making them available to the public. I remember he was talking about CCTV and, a whole host of ideas that I just loved. And all of a sudden, like, once they came into office, like, one of the first things they spearheaded was, like, hiding the identities of criminals going to court or making it harder for people to see their identities. And from there, things just went downhill.
Again, that wasn't really what they did.
Yeah, but it happened when they came to office. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just a coincidence, I guess. But that I think, Brett, they caused us to go to a downward spiral almost, because things seem to get worse since then. And I just feel some type of way about having a defense person being in charge of curbing crime, because by nature they make money off criminals and criminals being on the street. So it would make no sense to pass laws to make persons be locked up longer and whatever, because once you're in jail, it's like, you're not used to the law anymore.
All right, so I know people love to say this, right? But the system here, and he also served, I believe it was a magistrate, he might have been even a judge, I don't remember. So that he's done everything, if you're talking about the Minister of National Security. But here's the thing, we need to have an issue with this system. Right, the cabinet comes. No. So if you might have only a bunch of defense lawyers run for office, then what does that mean? This system allows for this. This is a problematic system that the cabinet comes from the MP pool. This is a problem.
But Dwight, don't you think though? Look at the other side of the coin. Don't you think, as a defense attorney, they should know what needs to be done to correct the problem? Because they themselves knows the loopholes and the challenges and the things that caused the problem. Don't you think that they should be even the best person to fix the problem?
There's cabinet collective responsibility, right? So it's not like he can make a decision unilaterally and decide to do something. There's a lot of things that have to go into this, and who knows what resistance there is. I don't know. But I'm just saying that we can't just put it on one person unless it's the prime minister. That's a different story.
Yeah, Nicole, I also understand what you're saying, that with someone that has insight into how criminals operate or the loopholes in the law, that now on the flip side of that, use that information to try to help bring reform, but it's not as black and white as that. So I do understand the point that you're trying to make.
Right, and you can't expect one person to make a change, because trust me, one person shouting and screaming and demanding change, you'll be surprised what one person can get accomplished.
Where?
No, well, the thing with
in
that
this
is
country?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But when you form a part of the cabinet, though,
how much persons was minutes?
You're not one person.
Minutes. How much persons was paid minutes? One person, right?
I'm missing the thing that you're saying. How many what?
How many persons was paid minutes? One person, right?
Well.
What all did he do? He did things that no one ever thought possible. And that's just one person.
Well, again,
so don't say one person can't make a change.
Well, like I said, except for the prime minister, and the Constitution unfortunately allows for things like this, which we aren't willing to change. So we do have to take some responsibility for some of this. We really do.
Then me and you can't change cabinet and change laws and stuff. That's what we send them there for.
Right. And then we got to deal with them when they don't do what we hope what they said they were going to do.
But how do we deal with them if you have rabid supporters who close their eyes and don't see any wrong once their party is in office, and we try to hold them accountable, but these rabid supporters they have around them, they'll vote them in regardless of what they do.
Yeah. It's very challenging.
What do we as the public do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear your frustration. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You can hear his frustration and passion.
Yeah. But like you said, everyone knows, everyone sees all the mess when they are in opposition. And suddenly it's sunny skies and butterflies.
A different agenda when you get in.
I guess. We've got another call. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, you're on the air.
Yeah, morning, folks. Yeah. Listen, in addition to what some of the other callers have already mentioned, I think they also need to look at the way the police stations are structured. And I had this concern for many years. You go to the police station, there's one couple on the desk, a number of police officers around doing a lot of work that I believe we need to have civilians doing. Like if you guys go to pick up a report, a police officer got to find that report for you. I believe we should have some civilians doing some of those stuff. When the police are ready to finish the report, he puts it there on a file. He shouldn't have to be digging up looking for it. So what happens is the criminals know full well that couple on the desk, those other officers who are attached to that station busy doing something else, if they're there. They may even be out on the call.
Yeah, that's very
I believe I'd like to make a recommendation. The police department needs to restructure the police station to ensure that a police officer is always at the door somewhere, available to move if something happens, rather than having to scramble around and call for officers who may be busy doing something, got to put their belt back on and get themselves properly prepared. That may help the situation. So these guys who are doing this stuff, they normally guys who have frequent the police station.
Oh, yeah.
They know the police system.
Inside and out.
They want to go do that because they know times the couple call, hey, Sarge, constable, something's up right there, having a gunshot. Sometimes you reach out there to find and disappear.
That is a very excellent point.
So they need to probably review that.
Yeah. Very interesting point. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's get some more of your text messages in. This person says here, battle ready while the country is in chaos with crime. #jokey leaders. I'm patiently waiting on the Bahamas' first mass shooting in the mall or school. Like what happened? Why would you say this? Why? And we've had mass shootings. We definitely have. But you mean in a school or mall? Wow. But if the point is, which it doesn't seem like it is, but if the point is that we need to be proactive and really, I know the schools do some sort of screening, but maybe more needs to be done. And in public places, more needs to be done so you don't have all this easy access that we do. Well, then fine, if that's what you mean. We do need to be prepared more than we seem to be. But they go on to say this is no longer the nice Bahamas we once knew. We are filled with mixed nationalities. No, that last part, why is that the part that causes us not to be nice? Wow. You think... yeah, they do. I was going to say, you think Americans think that way about all the Bahamians over there and all the other people? Yeah, they do.
They probably do.
So, never mind. But is it silly? Is it crazy? To some extent, yes. There are anyway, two problems we have. Our police are led by people who were promoted for their ability to follow instructions. Wow. And secondly, our organizations are run in an autocratic way so that they are not learning organizations.
That's interesting.
This person says, the country is a joke. Dude's literally talking about getting a plane. These leaders don't care at all for the country. They ain't doing nothing but partying. Well, okay, man, this is... okay. Well.
Maybe the police force is just overwhelmed by all of the crime and all of these situations that they're not really used to seeing. Like, we're seeing new levels of violence, and we also have to add to that, though, Dwight, people that cloak criminals and make it difficult for the police to do their job. It's just not a one thrown approach. It's like there are so many different forks that come off of this that help to create crime or help crime to stay the way that it is.
Yeah. This person says, could it be that, I think we read this already. Yeah. They need to throw this, okay. You all, much stiffer penalties will solve the problems. I get the emotional feelings attached to criminal attorneys, but their job is to force the prosecution to actually prove their cases beyond reasonable doubt. Shoddy investigations, evidence gathering, and bottom-tier case management systems speak more to a systemic issue. We beat confessions out of accused and rely on eyewitness testimony, which are proven to be unreliable, I guess you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another text, nothing's going to change unless Bahamians change. Blaming government at every corner. But it's your cousin or brother or sister or father and mothers, I guess, who should be held accountable, your family. And hold them accountable and watch crime go down. Yes, hold yourselves as well.
Correct.
We can put in laws, but without the people, nothing will change. Bahamians want to blame the politicians and police, but these people are a part of us. Silly textures like that, I don't know which one they're talking about. Oh, the one about the mass shootings. I hope only their family... Oh, no. Oh, gosh. What's happening? Okay. Oh, boy. These criminals don't have any respect for the law. To me, hanging will scare a lot of them from committing these serious crimes. I don't know. I don't know if it will. But it does send a message. What the message is, I don't know. But This person says here, I guess the police... Oh, boy. I guess the police are too busy being part of the revenue-generating arm of the government to issue traffic tickets. Perhaps they need to patrol to prevent violent crime. And this one says here, yikes, no. Okay, let's take some more calls before we go to a break. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning, the Quester.
Hi.
Good morning.
Dwight, I wasn't going to call, because I'm just tired of calling. I just tired. The Prime Minister told CARICOM that the Bahamas is burning. We are burning in more ways than one.
Wow.
And while we are burning, what is the Prime Minister doing? He's fiddling. The Minister of National Security, he is fiddling, Dwight, and call it out, Dwight. You don't have to be scared. You are trying to defend the indefensible.
Who?
Wayne Monroe is a waste.
Wow.
He's a waste of time. He's a waste of all he's doing is sitting down collecting our money, and he ain't doing a Christ thing for this country, man. They said they passed this anti-gang law. Have you seen anybody arrested yet? The police say they know who the gangs are, where they are. Anybody arrested, Dwight? Anybody hauled before the courts? Huh? What has he done to advance? Everybody, I told you before, all the other countries around the Caribbean, they're facing the same thing, and they are putting in stiffer penalties. All we're doing is sitting down, talking, and wasting time while people are being, slaughtered on our streets daily. It's commonplace stuff. Expect to hear somebody shot, somebody maimed, something. The other day, the man went his child's birthday party. There's no fear in this country, and this government, the prime minister who is in charge of all of these people, who serve.
Okay, but hold on now. I got to pause you there. See, now I don't know the particulars of that case, but if you listen to that case, clearly, I mean, that was a target. And so here's the problem. Yes, while we need our government MPs and ministers to do their part, but too many Bahamians are living the life of the things they see in the movies.
Why?
Right?
Why? Because they see no repercussions.
Is that the reason?
They see nothing. You
Okay.
get 2 years for the possession of 5 years for whole arsenal of ammunition. They see nothing. That's why they do. Only fools taught by angels, they're not.
Well, I don't know. We're also seeing when they do get. We're also seeing. Hold on a second. Hold on. We're also seeing that when they do get the, because some people are getting some big sentences, but they're fighting it hard, and they're going all the way to the Privy Council to get their 50 years or 30 years knocked down. So I don't know. I don't know if that's it. People just want to do what they want to do. And that's a problem, and we do need to enforce the laws we have. But we got some. It's not just the politicians who are the problem. They are definitely not blameless, but they're not the only ones who need to be checked. Not the only ones. Let's take this final call before we go to the break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there?
Hey, Dwight. Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good morning.
Very interesting conversation here. I'll make this very brief. You see, this is one of the reasons why the Bahamian people have been calling for a change in our judiciary. I know some persons talked about moving our system to correlate with the Caribbean, what's that Caribbean justice system?
Court of Justice.
Right. Away from what we have now with the Privy Council. In the Caribbean, we tend to be more familiar with what's going on the ground. But because of the laws that this country is still guided by from Great Britain, the British law, where they are actually detached from what's really going on here. But we are depending upon their decision on these cases.
Don't believe that.
Well, that is the
some of their rulings are most of their rulings are quite well thought out. It's the way the evidence gathering and the way some of these cases are handled that's causing problems.
Okay.
It's very rarely you're going to say, "Oh my gosh, the Privy Council got this wrong."
Well, Dwight, the bottom line here is there are some cases that is hands down you could agree with the ruling of the council, but then there are still some persons out there who believe otherwise. But the bottom line here is that we have to find something. We say that we are an independent country, but we are not operating independently in the vein that we should be able to come up with strengthening our laws, taking some of the articles out of the Constitution, taking some out of the Penal Code, and just make changes. But what we've done, and I'll close on this note, is we cherry pick the things that is surface level, and we refuse to do the hard work to get down to the basement level to get some of these things done so we could get truth and justice in this country in a manner that a lot of us call for. Now, some of us may not like if it's applied to us, but the law is the law. We have to fix the laws, and let's start to fix the country. But anyway, thanks for taking my call this morning.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. And I want to see if we can. Let's try that. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Brother Dwight. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning.
I'm okay. Good morning to your guests. Dwight, last week I think your guest was with Miss Cartwright, I think it was, from Long Island. And I use an analogy that she is familiar with. And I'll use it again this morning. When I was a boy, my mother planted peas on the family island, that's Exuma. And she will ask us to weed around the peas. The reason being is so the peas can breed and prepared to blossom, and she will reap the harvest from the peas. Because if we don't weed or keep around the peas clean, the weed from the peas will kill the peas. Tree. That's what happened. You see a lot of trees just die because not being kept and cared for. What am I saying? That's an analogy. We have a spiritual problem, not only here. This is all over the world. The family structure. What happened now? Children is growing up like wild weed, and they are prepared. They're destruct every and everywhere. Where is this coming from? This is coming from a spirit. The liberalized spirit is telling God that he made a mistake. This is also formed by a group of feminists and effeminate men. And as a result of that, we have a group of children born into the world by people having fun, but not remember that the child ought to be cared for, nurtured, and structured. And as a result of that, we've grown up a bunch of children like wild. They have been growing up like wild weed. We will pay the price. The world will pay the price for this.
Okay, all right. The effeminate men having the kids with the feminists? I don't know. Anyway, on this text as we go to the break, Dwight, I'm afraid to step outside at this point. No disrespect, but sometimes I wonder if you are a Bahamian because you see the country going down in flames but never know what's going on. We have corrupt leaders, corrupt police, an immigration invasion, which is a threat to our national security, and yet you still say you don't understand. You've never heard me say that. I don't understand how stupid your text is. That's what. But anyway, 2 countries in one with people fighting us for our own line and racist foreigners of all nationalities sitting on Bahamian necks. Okay, well, you live in a very, very scary part of the Bahamas. I don't understand where you are, but sure. We got a whole lot of problems. But again, for the people who keep trying to say this is, what's this man's name who got shot today? Yesterday? Raphael Nemore. Does that sound foreign to you? Never had anybody here illegally begging me on the side of the road for money. Trying to figure that out. Have anyone begged you? An illegal, somebody here with a weird accent begging you?
No.
Duquesa?
No.
They're all working. Who are they working for? How's that happening? Who's doing this? Yeah, okay. Anyway, we'll be back. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Got your first good traffic for the morning brought to you by RBC. Get a no-fee auto loan with up to 100% financing. In your real-time traffic, Mile Butler Highway looking busy for you this morning. Traffic well south of Bellet Road, straight through the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. And traffic is backed up westbound along Tawny Williams Darling Highway toward that roundabout. Elsewhere, your alternate routes, Gladstone Road looking a lot better. Just as you get closer to Munnings Road, will you see a few people in front of you heading northbound towards the roundabout with JFK Drive. Blue Hill Road also busy for you just north of Soldier Road on the way to the roundabout with Independence Drive. That's what we're seeing so far. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/carloan/all of you for more information. We're back with more Morning Blend after the news here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
RBC. Are you buying a home, renovating, or exploring mortgage options? With cash back and up to 90% financing, we'll find the perfect mortgage for you. Pre-qualify in just 60 seconds and get connected with a mortgage specialist today. Visit rbc.com/mortgages/all of you. RBC. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. And now at 8:27, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here is what's happening. We've got mid to upper level troughing across the area, coupled with available tropical moisture that's going to continue to generate showers and thunderstorms across the country. Meanwhile, a plume of Saharan dust will drift westwards across the southeast and central Bahamas today, and that's going to help to limit shower and thunderstorm chances across that part of the country. So the Saharan dust alert means that there's a warning for individuals with respiratory illnesses and allergies to take precautions. Again, this is for the central and southeast Bahamas. Also, heat indices could approach the triple digits today, and UV indices will be high to extreme, and everybody's being advised to remain hydrated, wear loose-fitting clothing, and sunscreen when outdoors. Boaters also need to be alert for the possibility of waterspout and funnel cloud activity. Your forecast for today for all areas, expect a mix of sun and clouds, warm and humid conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Expect hazy skies across the southeast and central Bahamas. Mostly fair tonight with a stray shower or two possible. Gusty winds and higher seas expected in showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures today getting up into the 90s, around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel a lot hotter than that. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. In your extended outlook, troughing across the area will weaken as high pressure expands and dominates weather. Meanwhile, a layer of Saharan dust will continue to move across the area, helping to lessen chances for showers and thunderstorms into the weekend. So, for Friday, tomorrow, partly sunny, warm, and hazy, with a chance of a few isolated showers and thunderstorms during the day, mostly fair and warm at night, with a stray shower or two possible. And then Saturday, the final Saturday of June 2024, we've got partly sunny, warm, and hazy conditions, with a chance of a few isolated showers and thunderstorms during the day, mostly fair and warm at night, with a stray shower or two possible. In the tropics, we're watching a couple areas. We've got a tropical wave of the western central Caribbean Sea. That's producing widespread but disorganized showers and thunderstorms as it moves rapidly westwards. Environmental conditions could become more conducive for gradual development later this week over the western Caribbean Sea and over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico during the weekend. Formation chance through the next 7 days is still low, about 20%. Then there is a tropical wave several hundred miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands. That continues to produce disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions are forecast to be unusually conducive for late June across the central and western tropical Atlantic, and further development of this system is anticipated. A tropical depression or tropical storm is likely to form this weekend, several hundred miles east of the Windward Islands. Formation chance through the next 7 days is high, about 70%. And we are all told, the whole Caribbean area being told to watch this system carefully. We don't know where this is going to go after the next few days, but it could go anywhere. So we'll keep you posted on that one. But that is your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. Time for another check of your traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Get a no-fee auto loan with up to 100% financing. In your real-time traffic, got a number of hot spots for you. You've got Mile Butler Highway still very busy, especially from south of Bellett Road, straight through Fire Trail, all the way up to Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. Heavy traffic there. Traffic back to Belong Fire Trail as well, eastbound. Glasson Road is going to be a better alternate route for you, but it is busy-ish, just maybe about three-quarters of the way between Fire Trail and John F. Kennedy Drive. So just north of Virgil Boulevard, you'll see the long lines in front of you there. We've got Blue Hill Road also looking busy for you near Carmichael, and just north of Soldier Road on the way to Independence Drive over on East Street. Between Soldier Road and the roundabout with East-West Highway, things are busy, especially northbound. On West Bay Street, we're seeing some slow-moving traffic if you're heading eastbound towards Arawak Key, and then getting into downtown near Nassau Street and Marlborough Street, heading into that area. So keep that in mind if you're in downtown Nassau. Soldier Road north of Robinson and Prince Charles also seeing some slow-moving traffic northbound towards Bernard, Wolf, and Village Road. Bernard seeing some slow-moving traffic westbound as well. And then along the major intersections on Prince Charles Drive. Reports that some of the traffic signals are not quite working the way they should, so keep that in mind if you're in the area. That's what's happening. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/carloan/all of you for more information.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kingdom National Parkinson Foundation presents its 24th Charity Gala, Saturday, June 29, 2024, at the Grand Ballroom Grand Hyatt Bahama Convention Center. And here to set the mood right and the night tight is none other than international artist Johnny Gill.
You got me singing my, 'cause you're good tonight.
Also the Defense Force Band and the Rhythm Band. You can purchase your tickets at Carey's Fabric on Mackey Street or Signature Styles Marathon Road. Cocktails at 6:45 p.m. and dinner at 7:45 p.m. And then you can have your fill of Johnny Gill.
One thing is true. God has blessed me. Let's get the mood right. Turn on your
Attention all Dunkin' lovers.
Are you ready to fly away this summer? Dunkin' has an irresistible offer just for you. During the month of June, every purchase of a dozen donuts at Dunkin' enters you for a chance to win big in the Father's Day Flyaway. 2 lucky winners will jet off on Bahamas Air with round-trip tickets to any Bahamas Air destination. Dads flying on Bahamas Air on Father's Day receive a special Dunkin' treat. Visit Dunkin' today and enter to win in the Father's Day Flyaway. The Bahamas flies on Dunkin'.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Looking for great device deals and offers this summer? Look no further. Alive has special discounts on the latest smartphones, Ring devices, and accessories. Plus, as an Alive customer, you can expect exclusive Get Extra offers and rewards, which means even more value for your money. We're talking more data, prizes, and surprises. Upgrade with us and experience the perfect summer with Alive in store or at bealive.com/deal.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
I dance around this empty house.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with DeQuesta Dean. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to talk with some of the more of the youth ambassadors on climate change and SDGs. We're going to get to that in just a couple of minutes. And later in business, we're talking with the business community, reacting to some recent tax compliance measures. So that's coming up. But I want to read a couple of your messages really quick, and then we'll get to a piece we want to talk about very briefly, DeQuesta. So this texter says, listening from West Palm Beach, I listen to your show every morning, and, sir, I hear the people blaming the government, but it isn't their fault, I guess you're trying to say. In my humble opinion, we talk about courts again. Sir, it isn't the problem. It starts with the family. We need to hold fathers and mothers responsible. This person says here, I kind of hear the caller. I don't know which one they mean. I know too many people that can make a certain call or do a certain hand sign, and the fear of the rule of law goes away. As long as we have those people, we can't get a handle on crime. Well, yeah. That is a serious problem. Dwight, you is talk foolishness sometimes, you know. Why you think most people is drive like they got sense when they're in the U.S. and then practice the most fool when they get to Nassau? Why you think dudes dare not go in Cuban waters? Why? Because of consequences. The bombs will never change until criminals get real consequences for the actions. Did I say otherwise, DeQuesta? I don't recall saying otherwise. I don't think I ever said that.
But I think we have been saying without consequences, nothing's going to change.
Yeah. I think the person who said hanging, I said, I don't know if that will change anything. Because people clearly are not afraid to die. Clearly these guys aren't afraid to die. And they might not be afraid, as the previous texter said, to be sentenced to jail because the right lawyer and the right who knows what can easily get them off. The previous texter talked about the way that cases are handled and how easily witnesses can be tampered with, and relying on eyewitness testimony, how that can hamper a case. So, yeah, we got a lot of issues. Yeah. So I really want to just briefly get to this case. You might have heard it in the news, but if you didn't, then update on the missing American, what the police are saying now, and some interesting things said in a press conference yesterday. Take a listen to this report from our Destiny Johnson.
Year-old Chicago native Taylor Casey is in the country to aid in search efforts. The woman was last seen on July 19th on Paradise Island. She was in the country to visit Shivananda Ashram Yoga Retreat Center. Police say once retreat operators realized she had not attended classes, they immediately contacted authorities. Police press liaison Chief Superintendent Kristen Skipping says Casey's parents were updated by police, tourism officials, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Wednesday afternoon.
Moments ago, we met with the family of Taylor Casey, who was reported missing to our agency on Thursday, the 20th of June, 2024. Since that report was made, we have conducted extensive investigation into the matter. This afternoon, we updated the family of Taylor as to where we are in the investigation. We have a very, very good relationship. They're very, very pleased with the investigations thus far.
Following investigations into her disappearance, police retrieved Casey's phone in waters on Paradise Island. In a statement released by Casey's mother earlier this week, she said the family believes Casey may be in danger. Skipping says their main priority is finding her alive.
Let me say that our priority is to find Taylor. To find Taylor and to find Taylor in good health. As members of the press, I want to ask your assistance in ensuring that the information is disseminated widely so that we can find Taylor. I can say to you that the investigation, we used our drone technology, we used our canine, we have used our divers, we've used a number of resources. And so our investigation continues.
She says a number of people from the retreat were questioned and police are now extending their investigations outside the immediate area. Casey's disappearance has gained widespread international attention, with news outlets highlighting travel advisories for the country. Director General in the Ministry of Tourism, Latia Duncombe, says the ministry is continuing to promote the country as a safe destination.
The Bahamas is a safe destination, and we stand by that. And our Prime Minister has implemented the 5-pronged approach to crime. And wherever there are isolated incidents, they are addressed and they are investigated and the matters are settled. So we're very confident in our product. However, the key thing at this time is to make sure that we're able to find Taylor and for her to return home.
Skippings is appealing to anyone who may have any information on Casey's whereabouts to contact Crime Stoppers.
And so it doesn't stop, even though we met with the family today. It's going to be ongoing. And so as information comes in and we need to speak to additional persons, we're going to speak to them. And as we always do as an organization, we're going to be transparent and we're going to keep you updated as it relates to this particular incident and all incidents.
Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Destiny Johnson.
All right, let's get your reaction really quickly to that. I don't have much time for this segment, but let's hear from you. 323-6232, 325-4316, although I wonder if we should do that. Anyway, 325-4259, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. How do you all feel about the Ministry of Tourism having so much to say in this investigation? This is, am I the only one having a... feels a little weird. I know, it's getting a lot of publicity abroad, but
I mean, because it's a tourist, I think that it's important that they do send a message that, the Bahamas is still a travel destination where people can be safe and not be silent on the matter. So yeah, I think that was appropriate.
Yeah, sure. NASA, have you seen the paper today, DeQuesta? It's that story on the front page, right below the story of the man shot outside the court, which is next to the police station. So very interesting. But sure, yeah, great. Text here, just a question: what prompted the retreat to contact authorities? If I run a training course and someone doesn't show up, I assume they're no longer interested. Exactly what information did the police give other than the phone? I'm lost.
That's an interesting question, but if someone leaves and doesn't take any of their belongings, if everything they came with is still there, and that person just isn't around, it is cause for alarm.
Absolutely. This person says, Dwight, I just wish that and hope that locals are extended the same courtesies, and I wonder what happens when one of us is missing in other countries. Well, it depends on the country. Some countries it'll be treated with, right? I'm sure you can see that. With the utmost priority, in other places, that's the way of the world.
That we should just we should just focus on doing the right thing, not in comparison to anyone else or any other country or anything. We should just focus on doing what is right. Somebody came here, they came to attend a particular function, they disappeared. What are the right things to do in a situation like that?
Yeah. This is an interesting question. How many cases of missing people have been solved here? Well, I'm sure there's a lot of outstanding, a lot of cold cases. Absolutely. Yeah. So, hey. Well, we're still all wishing for the best for Taylor Casey and for all the people who are missing still in this country. All right, we're going to leave that there. We're going to take a break and be back with a whole lot more Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Behind the glass, this museum full of ash. Once a tickle, now a rash. This used to be a fun house, but now it's full of evil clowns.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we can sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
Are you tired of the hustle and bustle of city life, yearning for a relaxing getaway without the headaches of international travel? Well, we've got just the thing for you. Escape to paradise without leaving home with our limited time 2-fly free offer for Bahamas residents. Whether you're craving adventure, seeking to reconnect with your roots, or simply yearning to unwind in secluded shores, the Family Islands has something for everyone. But you better act fast, because this incredible 2-fly free offer is only available until June 30th. Don't let this opportunity slip away. So why wait? Book your trip today. Escape the ordinary, discover the extraordinary, and experience the magic of the Family Islands. Visit BahamasResidence.com for more information and start planning your ultimate island getaway today.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Are you seeking exceptional health care beyond the traditional hospital setting? Introducing Doctors Hospital Clinics, your trusted destination for comprehensive care. Our full-service locations provide affordable services through our Loyalty Advantage membership program and NHI. Experience seamless care with our integrated health system, where your medical history travels with you, ensuring continuity of care. Book an appointment today at clinics.doctorshosp.com. We make primary care easy.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Oh, yeah. All right. My beautiful islands. I tell you, if the good Lord never goes on.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Before we get into our segment, just want to say we're getting reports of an accident on John F. Kennedy Drive, eastbound as you approach Lake Cunningham, and possibly overturned vehicle, and that's causing some delays there. So keep that in mind. If you are just east of Westridge, you're going to run into some issues there. All right, so it's part two of a series we started last week, meeting the new youth ambassadors for Sustainable Development Goals and climate change, and we're very pleased to have the remaining two with us this morning, along with Climate Change Ambassador Charles Hamilton, Climate Change Advisor Charles Hamilton. We also have Youth Ambassador for Climate Change, Javon Sands, and Youth Ambassador for SDGs, Kieran Halkidas. I said the first name right?
Yes.
Kieran. Okay, great to have you both with us. Great, wonderful meeting you all. All right, so Charles, just let people who might not have heard it last week, let us know about the Youth Ambassador Program and what this is all about.
Sure. Thank you very much, Dwight, and good morning, Bahamas. Yes, the government has been proceeding with expanding its youth empowerment program, and one of the initiatives that the government has done over the past 3 years is the appointment of youth climate ambassadors. So these are young people who are passionate about the field of climate change, and we wanted to find a way to legitimize their ability to be able to engage on the regional and the international stage and to advocate for our country and inspire the next generation of climate advocates. Now, we know that climate change is one of the 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, and so it was a no-brainer in terms of expanding youth empowerment that we would look at having our first SDG youth ambassadors, and that's what we did this year. So again, individuals, you got to meet one of them last week, Samantha, and you are going to get to meet Kieran today. And I can tell you that these are some very engaged, very exciting, and very innovative young persons who I know are going to make an impact on our country and the world.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. So, Kieran, you started us off as Youth Ambassador for SDGs. Tell us, how did you get into this, and then what the experience has been like?
Well, personally, I've always been passionate about development, and particularly the development of my country, the Bahamas. And that's when I started to become engaged with the Sustainable Development Goals. So they replace the Millennium Development Goals, and they represent a more holistic methodology for international development. And it recognizes that both underdevelopment and the environment are intrinsically linked with one another. And when it comes to that development, one of the most important things we can do, or the most important thing we can do, is adapt to the planetary crises that we're facing right now. And I'm very grateful to have been granted this position to push for and advocate for that adaptation here in the Bahamas.
We asked Samantha about this last week, but how do you feel Bahamians are responding to this? Are we understanding this? Are we getting this? Are we actively participating in trying to move these goals forward, to move closer to them?
So I've done a bit of research on this. Most Bahamians are aware of the fact that the Bahamas is facing existential threats, but I feel that one of the most important things about my position is helping to get the word out and help people get to know ways that they can help to fight that crisis and to help us adapt and bring about a better country for both our children and our children's children.
Yeah. Well, all right. So then there is the Youth Ambassador for Climate Change. So specifically looking at these issues, Javon, tell us about your experience so far. How did you get involved in this?
Well, for me, first got into climate change, I think it was my very first class in college. The topic was sustainability. And from there, it's become an entire academic journey. And I'll be continuing that journey with a master's degree in environmental change and management. And all of this academic work then inspired in-person activist work. It was a blend of my engineering and physics background with my poetry and art background, and merging all of that in order to holistically approach addressing the climate crisis, inspiring other young people, specifically young Bahamians, to get involved with the climate crisis, and trying to have holistic climate action across the Bahamas. And so this was just the ideal next step to do that on a national level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What you've done so far, you've been traveling, you've done Antigua and Barbuda. Tell us about what happened there and what that experience was like. Mm-hmm. Javon?
So at the SIDS 4 experience, we actually started out with the first ever CYAS, which is like a Global Children and Youth Action Summit. And that experience for me was very fulfilling in the sense that I could see other youth actors across small island developing states being engaged in understanding our unique position as SIDS in the climate crisis and how we as young people from SIDS can learn and achieve climate action on a global scale. We did some master classes on policy and negotiation, which I think will be useful to us in our ambassadorship positions because we'll be in those rooms, we'll be in those negotiation spaces, we'll be rubbing shoulders with the leaders and climate representatives of different countries. And so having that background will be very helpful in that regard. And I also think that it just gave us some hope because we could see just the vast numbers of youth delegates that are involved in this work, especially those in the Caribbean, and we're still connected to them now, and moving forward we'll be working with them on different projects to try and understand how we as a collective in the Caribbean, as Caribbean youth, can be of service to our region, to our countries.
Yeah. Wow. And Kieran, what about you? How was that experience?
It was excellent, but I think that the most important thing that I took from the experience was the solidarity that the conference engendered, both between youth delegates and from governments from small island developing states. Now, SIDS, in total, we're responsible for a fraction of a percentage of total greenhouse gas emissions. And not just greenhouse gas emissions, but pollution and biodiversity loss in general. And it is the solidarity between us as countries and calling for the countries of the global north and the countries of the developed world to stand by their commitments to us in adaptation for this crisis that we didn't cause.
Right. Yeah. Wow. All right. And you've got some big conferences coming up next week. Tell us about that. What can we expect next week?
Sure. Charles? Absolutely. There are a number of conferences happening next week. Let's see if we can tee them up appropriately. So from July 2nd to July 3rd, we're going to be having the second annual Sustainable Development Goals Conference, where the target audience are, those in the private sector, those who are adults, those who want to become more engaged in understanding how the SDGs tie into their work and opportunities to be able to get funding, opportunities to be able to learn, hey, there is so much more you can be doing with your business. So that's on July 2nd. On July 3rd, we will be having our inaugural Bahamas Youth SDG Conference. And so that is there targeted towards the age 16 to 25-year-olds. We're going to be having very, very animated hosts, panelists, prizes and surprises. I will get to what some of those will be because we know that Bahamians like teens, right? But that's on the 3rd. So now from July 4th to 5th, we continue on with what's been an annual tradition, our third rendition of the Bahamas Youth Climate Change Conference. And again, amazing individuals from across the region and across our country who are going to be talking about various topics that are addressing climate change mitigation, adaptation, loss and damage, climate, businesses, ways that you can get involved, job opportunities, internships. And so we really, really encourage persons to come come out strong. Honestly, persons who have taken advantage of these conferences have been able to see their career thrive and have been able to see opportunities, whether it's in their studies, whether it's in ambassadorships, whether it's in jobs or internships. And so it's not just a matter of coming there and sitting down and being a passive participant, but being actively engaged. We can, for persons who are interested, they can go to sdg.gov.bs, or you can go to the Bahamas Sustainable Development Goals Unit on Facebook or on Instagram, and you can sign up there. And for the Youth Climate Conference, if you go to youthclimateready.gov.bs or the Climate Change and Environmental Advisory Unit Facebook page or CCEAU Instagram page, we have our links there for you to register. We want you to register so we could know how much lunch we need to get for people, but also so that we can know how we can balance out the teens, and we can talk about the teens later.
Yeah. Wow. All right. So SDGs, climate change is not the only one of these. It's 17 SDGs, right? And a lot of things we've been talking about before, in the crime in the country. This is covered in these SDGs: peace, justice, inequality, quality education. So we're getting this text here. I want our youth ambassadors to respond to this. This person says here, without a vision, people throw off restraint. Many of our youths can't or will make the wrong decisions because they have no vision for the future, and that they will end up being lost by negative actions. Our schools must therefore sell our kids a rewarding national vision that will give purpose to obtaining knowledge. Schools have kids' attention for at least 6 hours a day, for a minimum of 12 years, if not more, right? A lot more. We must make that count. All right, so I want to ask you, I mean, you all seem so focused, but we've got, it seems like 2 different countries, if not 3 here, where people just don't see a way out of the lives they know and can't even imagine the way that the direction that you're going. What can we do to get more people on the same page as where you all are?
Well, I definitely think that...
Get a little closer to the mic first, please.
I definitely think that the schools is a perfect opportunity because we have to start with the youth. I mean, our future is depending on young people. And so changing our curriculums to be more focused on, national identity and using the climate justice movement as an opportunity to inspire young people, because the biggest thing about climate action is knowing what you're trying to protect. And here in the Bahamas, we're trying to protect our home, our culture, the future for our young people. We want to protect the opportunity for young Bahamians to be able to go to the beach and not be terrified of something, horrible happening to them, not be terrified every year of the hurricane season, because that goes against what we're trying to do in terms of climate action. And inspiring that hope from an early age is really important. And the schools, like that person was saying, they have the attention of the youth. And on the topic of youth attention, we're competing with a lot of things in this day and age for youth attention. Mm-hmm. And if we're not able to garner that attention, garner that focus of young people onto the things that are important for our country, for our national identity, we're going to lose a lot of, Bahamian culture. We're going to lose a lot of our youth.
Yeah. Kieran, what about you? What do you say?
I definitely agree with Javon in terms of linking Bahamian cultural identity and nationalism to the project of sustainable development and climate adaptation. Really, these social problems have an economic base, and the economic base of this country is eroded by the problems of underdevelopment that we've faced since even before our independence as a nation. And this is why the SDGs focus so much on economic development for the underdeveloped world, because it is that fundamental policy, that fundamental priority that we can then use to adapt to the other problems that we're facing.
Yeah, wow.
So I have a question. So, in listening to the responses, and I totally agree that we have to create a future for young people, and that young people will lead in the years to come. However, we are in the present. And so in your opinion, what are things that people can do every day to help advance this cause? Like starting today, what are some things that people can do to help advance the cause that you're advocating?
Javon, you want to start?
I could start. Well, the difficult task is that as small and developing states, as the Bahamas, in terms of what the global climate response is asking people to do, cut emissions, energy efficiency, those sort of tasks, those everyday things that each individual can do. On the one side, it's more of a corporate issue where big, large corporations have a greater responsibility for reducing those kind of things. And then, of course, the biggest emitting countries, unlike us in small islands. But what we need as small islands is climate adaptation. And I think what we can do as individuals on an everyday basis is to educate ourselves and then educate others, because the more we have in terms of education and awareness, the better we're able to advocate for things within our local governments. And also, we can try our best to create opportunities internally for climate finance or educating ourselves on climate finance so that we can navigate the global financial architecture that is very difficult. And if we have more people in the Bahamas educated on these issues, we're better able to address that as a nation.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Charles?
Sure. I'll chime in. That's a great question. I think part of it is about providing the platforms for persons to be able to become engaged. So, again, you're a parent, you're a young person, you're someone listening to the show, you're hearing that there are 3 different conferences that are targeting areas that could provide support to you. 3 conferences where you don't have to worry about purchasing lunch, 3 conferences where you're going to feel safe, 3 conferences where you're going to be inspired by persons who are not super people. They are people from our country, right? They are everyday men and women who are trying their hardest with the tools that they have before them to try and create a better country and a better world. I think it's about us also managing to be responsible for each other. You heard about this initiative today. Tell 2 more people to become more engaged, because I find that, and for us to be honest about where we're at. So I could never imagine if you had told me, a younger child, that someone coming out of Centerville or out of the Kemp Road area, that you would be working in this particular field and inspiring other young people to be able to raise their voices, work within government, work internationally to be able to address the challenges that we have. People need to have hope, and they need to be able to see that the persons who are on the stage are representative of them. And so part of that, honestly, just engaging with persons. And I will use the plug again, scg.gov.bs, youthclimateready.gov.bs. Encourage people to sign up and see what opportunities will be available for today, for now. Yeah. And hopefully we can start to create some more change.
Wow. Okay. Anytime we talk about climate change, these messages come. This person says, oh boy, I am so disappointed in these brainwashed climate change pawns. Hopefully they will learn one day about the real background and consequences of what their support of climate change really entails. I'm sure you hear these type comments, but what do you say to people like this, who the doubters out there that, that this is... these are real changes and not just cyclical developments?
So I'll chime in first. Let's, if we want to entertain that climate change is not real, can we get to a baseline? Do we believe that we're doing our best to protect the environment? Yes or no? Do we... can we see that the temperature is getting hotter outside, and it would be good for us to create strategies on how we can keep our people cooler? Do you believe that we should have better and reliable electrical systems? Yes. Do you believe that we should be able to ensure that buildings can survive increasingly stronger storms? Yes. If you have a problem with those matters, those are some of the actions that are being tackled under the mandate of addressing climate change. And so the co-benefits of addressing climate change, mitigation, and adaptation has stronger sustainable development and economic co-benefits that would help the Bahamian people and countries at large. So, I mean, we may be at odds in terms of whether you believe in climate change, but personally, I believe we can all get to the same page and I believe climate change is real. But if we all can agree that we can do better protection of our environment, protection of our people, and enhancing our infrastructure, I think we believe the same thing. We may just be using different vernacular. That's where I stand with that.
Any of you want to weigh in on these and folks like that?
I can weigh in.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the effects of climate change are self-evident, right? You talk to your parents and your grandparents, and you can ask them about the abundance of fish that were available 20, 30 years ago and compare it to today. Not just the abundance, but the prices, the market prices of fish and conch today, right? That's a symptom of the climate crisis. That's a symptom of the biodiversity crisis that we're facing. It's the same principle with another effect of climate change, which is the frequency and intensity of natural disasters that the country is facing. Right? We see that weather is getting more extreme year over year, and these storms become more devastating year over year. These are self-evident facts, and like Mr. Hamilton said, you can call it climate change or you can call it something else, but it's self-evident, and our adaptation for it will benefit the Bahamas. And I urge people to think about these positions that you take, these philosophical and political positions that you take. Who benefits? Who's benefiting from the from the spreading of this idea that climate change isn't real? The people and industries and countries who are most responsible for the climate crisis.
Wow. That's an excellent point to make there. My goodness. This is a great text on why isn't recycling more prominent or available here? How can we access the process or use recycling bins for homes and communities? I don't know if you all can answer that question, but it isn't talked about as much here as in other places, definitely.
Yeah, I would say that if persons looked at our country's updated nationally determined contributions, or NDC, you'll see that the issue of recycling enhancement is something that's been discussed about. And I would say yes, I would love to see a Bahamas where we have increased recycling capacity. I would say that persons would also be shocked when they go to developed countries that are more responsible and have way more waste that they don't have any recycling programs. Just coming from one of the climate conferences, I was surprised to see in the country I saw no recycling bins. I saw no facility for it, and I asked, is recycling not a thing here? They're like, no, we're still trying to figure out a way to upkeep it. And so there is a cost associated with putting on strain those particular programs, and it is something that the Bahamas is exploring. It's going to require support both at a local level and at an international level to have its implementation enhanced. But yeah, we're not the only persons, but at least we are trying. We've actually put down a commitment to try and explore it. I can't speak for our other partners who have way more resources than us.
Wow, my goodness. Here's one final text. This is a doom and gloom text. I like the program, but this is really an attempt to make people feel busy while we wait for the doom. The floods are coming. We really need more marine engineers. That last part is true. But are we doomed no matter what we do? Are we just, these are the end times, as people say? Jerron?
Well, I think if we believe ourselves to be doomed no matter what we do, then we're going to limit what we can do.
Exactly.
And if we're doing nothing, then yes, we will be doomed. But if we can get out there and do something, we have a better chance at being able to survive. And so, like Kieran said earlier, climate adaptation is a big deal. It's what small islands need, much more than mitigation, because we don't contribute as much to the emissions. But we do need financial resources. We need technological resources. We do need some more marine engineers and other types of engineers to be able to facilitate the adaptation process.
Yeah. Kieran, what do you say?
I think I'd just like to compare it to the ozone layer crisis. People probably remember, but because of what the chemicals that we used in aerosols, chlorofluorocarbons, the ozone layer that protects us from the most harmful radiation from the sun, was eroding.
Yep.
And of course, this is a very specific problem, and it's something that is less expansive. It necessitates less of an expansive response as climate change. But we were able to come together, all of humanity, diplomatically agree on different chemicals that are allowed to be used in these products. And now you don't hear about the problem anymore
don't talk about that
because
anymore.
it's resolved.
Yeah, that's an excellent point again. Wow. Just remind folks how youthful you all are. Let people know how old you are, if you don't mind. Kieran?
I'm 21 years old.
Okay, wow. Javon?
And I'm 22 years old.
Yeah, these are very young people. This is amazing. Again, based on the things we were talking about earlier, Duquesa, I mean, look at this, right? Well, why do we feel that it has to be the way? Anyway, okay. Let people know if they're interested in being a youth ambassador like these two gentlemen, what they should be doing in the future.
They should definitely look at coming out to the conferences so that they can find an opportunity to engage with these young ambassadors and talk with them about how the program has been going for them, how did they go about with the application process. It's normally done on an annual basis, and for us, we're continuing to be impressed by the caliber of the young persons who are stepping forward. And so if you're interested in meeting our youth climate and youth SDG ambassadors and learning even more about the work that they do and opportunities, again, go to sdg.gov.bs to sign up for the Youth SDG Conference and to youthclimateready.gov.bs to sign up for the Bahamas Youth Climate Conference, or go on social media. That's Bahamas Sustainable Development Goals Unit and the Climate Change and Environmental Advisory Unit. You can find us on there, and we're ready to welcome you. And if that didn't work for you, some of the things that we've had donated, because Corporate Bahamas is just believing that it's important to keep young people involved. We've received round-trip tickets on Bahamas Air. We've received some cell phones from Alive. We've received gift certificates from John Bull, from Hoffer's Sports as well, from McDonald's, I'm making sure that I'm not missing out any other persons. These are some of the prizes that we have, because we want you to walk away with knowledge, but also with something tangibly. And so you can only get that if you come to the conference. And so show up, come there. If you can register online beforehand, that's better for us, but you can also come the day of, because we know Bahamians will do that, and we are ready to welcome you.
And it's free.
And it's free, and it's free. And for parents, we know that summer camps are hard to find. So perhaps this is a 3-day summer camp opportunity for your kids, 9 to 5.
Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Charles Hamilton, Climate Change Advisor, thank you so much for being here. And of course, Corinne Halkidas, Youth SDG Ambassador, and Javon Sands, Youth Climate Change Ambassador. Thank you both for being here this morning. Really appreciate it. Great conversation.
Thank you very much, Dwight.
Thank you.
And to you, Duquesa.
Best of luck to you and your roles.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're talking with the business community about tax compliance and some recent heavy-handedness. We'll get into that in just a bit. Stay with us.
Tell me why he made this island.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
At Happy Independence Bahamas! Let's celebrate 50 plus 1 together with a unique Janae's Uniform Center Independence print, dry-fit polo or t-shirts, ribbons and pole bows in black, gold, and aquamarine. Janae's special family package includes buy 2 adults and 3 children Independence polos or t-shirts and get 15% off. Outfit your staff for a special Independence dress of week or day with a different design. For more than 30 pieces of Janae's Independence polos or t-shirts, get up to 25% discount. Janae's Uniform Center Chesapeake Road Independence Selections. Choose your favorite and celebrate 50 plus 1. Restrictions apply. The best athletes in the Bahamas will be on display at the B3A's Kids Athletics Invitational Junior and Senior National Championships, June 26 to 28 at the original Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium. Stephen Gardner, Devin Charlton, Shawnee Miller-Wevo, and so many more. The juniors are vying for the opportunity to represent the Bahamas at the World Under-20 Championships, and the seniors are gunning to qualify for the Paris Olympic Games, which are fast approaching, and our athletes are looking to get on the road to Paris. The meet gets underway at 4 p.m. on Wednesday, June 26th, and Thursday, June 27th, and at 5 p.m. on Friday, June 28th. Gates open at 3 p.m. daily, and tickets can be purchased for as low as $20 at the original Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium. The B3A's Kids Athletics Invitational Junior and Senior National Championships, June 26 to 28 at the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. You don't want to miss this one.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend on this Thursday, June 27th, Morning Blend Business. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. And this morning, we are getting the reaction of the business community to what happened earlier this week when members of the Revenue Enhancement Taskforce did surprise inspections of a number of stores, and this time it was the Southwest Plaza. But at least one business person, Brent Burrows II with CBS Bahamas, felt that this was a heavy-handed approach to compliance. We're going to hear this morning from the chairman of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation, Tim Ingram, and the president of the Bahamian Contractors Association, Leonard Sands. Gentlemen, welcome back to Morning Blend Business. Great to have you with us as always.
Good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
For having me.
Good morning.
All right, so we had Brent Burrows on yesterday talking about this, and he asked a lot of great questions on social media, and he asked it again yesterday. Not quite sure what these folks were trying to accomplish, but it did intimidate customers, staff members, especially seeing the guns that some of them had. Let's get your initial reactions to this and what is going on here and what needs to happen.
Well, right from
Tim?
the Chamber's perspective, obviously this, I should say, seemed to be an intimidation tactic. If you walk into business in the middle of the day with 6 very heavily armed officers dressed in what almost looks like battle fatigues. They look like they're on a special forces mission or something. It's quite concerning if that's what we've come to collect taxes. The law provides many means for the government to go after tax cheats, and I would say that the Chamber encourages every business in this country to pay the taxes that you're supposed to pay and avoiding. We certainly don't encourage avoiding paying taxes. But the laws, various laws for the various agencies involved, all provide robust mechanisms that the government can use to go after persons who they feel are dodging taxes without showing up on a business's doorstep with a half dozen very heavily armed officers. There is a comment that the officers were there because if they collect money, there's a safety issue. We understand there might be a safety issue. We are a little concerned that they'd walk around and be collecting money from businesses in that manner. And I don't know how much money they feel these businesses would have on hand that they would have that significant amount of cash. But we've all seen other operations moving money, moving cash, which don't involve the same level of seemingly paramilitary or military presence almost that we saw in this instance. So, two police officers with normal service weapons to me would have been quite sufficient if they felt as they say, they need protection because they may be attacked, which is not unreasonable. But also having those officers walk into the store in the middle of the day, all 6 of them. It wasn't like 1 or 2 came in and the others stayed outside or anything. But it's deeply concerning that this is the method we're going about to collect taxes, that we seem to have the military involved in collecting taxes.
Right. Leonard, I know you were the person who first put me onto this story, and you were quite livid at the time. But let's talk about it, your initial reaction and what you're saying now about it.
And Dwight, I was shocked because I was reached out from my BCA member, CBS Bahamas, and they was like, "What's going on here? So, and I'm trying to calm down because it is a noted fact that Bahamian businesses in our smaller economy struggle with the competition from abroad. So it takes a lot to induce and cause customers to come into your space to buy locally when they could just as easily go abroad. So imagine the kind of feeling you have when this kind of measure is thrust upon you inside a space where you have customers who decided that they're going to shop at home. They want to go to the CBSs and the JBRs and what's up and the like to do business, but they have to confront this kind of experience. And I think I'm just really disappointed that that consideration wasn't given to the businesses. I understand that you're there to enhance revenue collection, but you're going to disrupt revenue generation by this antic. And I quite sure the chamber feels the same way. I mean, you can't make monies if customers don't come in, if they feel they're going to be met with guns. Imagine if some person is there and they have, a 5-year-old kid. What is that experience for that child? I don't know if they thought about that properly. So we were expressing our frustration on behalf of one of our members who, again, maintained we've always been in good standing. Like, we don't understand why a call couldn't have been simply made to our accounts office and asked a question. I mean, what's the issue?
I mean, what's the point in a call if there are systems available to say whether a company has paid their taxes or have registered their business? Like, isn't it something that they can internally confirm before just going out and barging into someone's establishment?
To just look and see when the facts are in their space. Like Mr. Burr said, we're compliant. We're up to date. So this surprise inspection was to do what? So it leaves more questions and answers. But I just want to say that, Bahamian businesses, especially in construction space, and I always speak about that, it's difficult when you have competition from abroad, very, very tight competition locally in the construction space, especially for suppliers of construction products. And now to have these kind of disruptions, I really feel for our members here because I think that it's going to take a lot now for them to get out of the stigma that something like this could happen again, because it was not a good customer experience. And I'm very disappointed that it's happened.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot was said yesterday. Has there been any response from the government, from the revenue enhancement units, to any of the articles, any of the posts on social media that were put up yesterday?
I did see the commander of the unit. It's interesting that they have a commander in charge. I did see the commander of the unit make some comments. He said the officers were wearing their normal uniforms and that they were polite and spoke politely to everyone. And they were simply there to provide protection to the tax collectors who may have been walking out of these businesses with some tax collected. And it may be that for the commander that seeing officers dressed the way they were dressed it's quite a normal thing because it's his job to be in that environment. But for the average person, the average Bahamian walking the street in a store, not used to seeing 6 heavily armed police officers or defense force officers walking in with guns. And so that has been the comment that has been made about it so far. I did get a question from a business owner who said to me, the DIR owes me hundreds of thousands of dollars. He said, and I know another person, they owe $1 million. What are they encouraging us to do to collect our taxes if this is what they are, if this is the way they're going about collecting their taxes? So, we have to be careful of the messages we send.
Well, Mr. Ingram, I have a question for both you and Mr. Sands, because as I think about revenue collection, and you have this agency showing up, well, first of all, I don't know if there was any communication to the broader public that this area was put together and that in the future someone could just show up in your shop. I don't know if there was any announcement made to the general public.
There was something about it.
Okay.
And they did say they were going to get more aggressive. They've been warning about that for a while now.
Okay. So from a business perspective, how prudent is it to have people coming into your establishment collecting money to the point that they need a police escort? And could that also lead to revenue leakage?
Well, these days, I wouldn't think many businesses would have that amount of cash just lying around. If you're a wise business, you try to move the cash out of your premises as soon as possible. A lot of businesses have tried to encourage electronic payments to avoid the cash. And so that's why I made the comment that I'm not sure how much cash they think they will collect walking in and out of some of these places because it's not as if, let's say they think a business owes them $100,000. I don't see them walking out with $100,000 in cash in their hands, or even $20,000 or $30,000. Interestingly, too, since CBS has made this public, I have received calls from a number of other businesses who have suffered similar fate. I have even a gated community said that they suffered a similar fate as well, that the officer showed up wanting to see boat registrations, to measure docks and everything else. And so, there's processes laid out in the law that allow this to be done without machine guns in someone's face. And we hope that those are the ones that get followed. I mean, if those guys, the officers walking into the store yesterday, had seen someone with a cutlass and they thought he looked threatening.
Oh, gosh.
Where could that have ended?
Oh, my goodness.
These are the kinds of things. And are they going to be doing this same level of enforcement on businesses downtown in the middle of the day with tourists walking around? So all of these things that need to be considered.
Well, on Tim's comments, I'm going to say this. Members of the Bahamian Contractors Association will not make cash or any instrument of payment available outside of the normal channels of paying their taxes. So we're not going to be prepared at any instant to pay taxes over the counter. 99.9% of companies in the association file and remit their taxes online or some check form, but not cash. We're not in 1985. So I do not appreciate or understand in 2024 where the regime has taken us back to where you're going out to collect taxes and you need 6 men to ensure that the cash, what are you going to put it in? Are they driving around in an armored truck? So you're going to travel with the cash in the private vehicle of the tax compliance unit persons, or it's going to be a police car? I just have so much questions how silly this is. So I'm not here to talk about anything other than the fact that the construction community will not and is not prepared to be visited upon and provide payment for any taxes that may be owing on demand. That's just not where we are. So I'm saying that, what is the next step to that? Now, I'm reaching now. So we're saying that this is our position. So what the law, like Ms. Ingram has said, provides for is that we then get notified that we owe taxes and we remit taxes. While you may want to enhance that process, the law does not set aside the process. There's no changing in the process. I filed my VAT today. When I get a bill, I will pay it. But because I filed it today, doesn't mean that you show up today and say, I want it now. No, that process doesn't change. So I don't know what was in the minds of the persons who created this enhancement unit. I think it may have a good purpose, but the manner in which it's going about doing business is not acceptable. And members in the BCA will not subject itself to on-demand payment of any VAT or related taxes.
And it doesn't even give the business any assurance that the funds collected will actually end up in the government revenue system. I mean, whatever people think, they think, but that's also an opportunity for revenue leakage to happen by transporting cash from one location, and when you reach somewhere as a different tally. No, it's insane.
Absolutely, Degressa. Absolutely. I gave you $10,000 at my store. When you arrive at the place where you have to remit it, it's only $8,000. Nobody could verify whether I gave you the $10,000 and you actually took in the $8,000. Come on, man. We're not playing that game at all. This is 2024.
Yeah. So
we're not doing that.
So do we have any idea? So in addition to the officers and the fatigues and stuff, there were some people with clipboards. And CBS told us that they were there for an hour, which is unbelievable as well. Any idea what they were asking about, or have you heard from other vendors the types of questions they were asked? Do we know what specifically? I mean, are they asking about your prices? I mean, what are they doing?
It seems as if there would have been someone from customs, and they want to see your customs receipts. There would be someone from Inland Revenue who would like to see receipts related to that. There's someone from NIB who want to see your NIB receipts to make sure you're up to date. So that is what I understand. And according to Mr. Burrows, they would have had this information. I also heard from another company.
Right, because that's headquarters.
A branch operation on Michael Road. Now, it's a small branch, and there wouldn't have been any major paperwork in that branch. The paperwork would all be at their head office. But this group of persons walked into this small office. For what purpose, I'm not sure, since, as I say, that's not the head office of the branch. You think they go to the head office. But, I'm not sure what it is. Someone last night likened it to the days of old when Roman soldiers went around collecting the taxes. But obviously, we're well past that now. We're in a time when tax authorities send a group of accountants to your premises if they think there's a crime going on and there's an opportunity for violence. Yes, then you will see police presence for that. But generally speaking, most tax authorities we see are enforcing their rules, using accountants, using attorneys. They could have walked in if they felt any business in Nassau owes the government money, and they have the proof of that. They could go into that business and say your business license is hereby suspended. We're putting locks on the door until you pay us the money. That is far more effective than walking in the store with six very heavily armed men.
Wow.
And what I want to ask is, okay, so you say that they really run some spaces and they talk about, I want to see your customs receipt. You have to present those things to customs to get your goods from out of custom. We're beyond that. That doesn't even make sense. We're in the construction community. We import hundreds of millions of dollars of goods into this country on a yearly basis. It comes into a controlled freight terminal that is owned by the government of Bahamas and controlled by customs. We can't get it off the dock without satisfying customs. So to say you come in there to look at something which may be consigned, that's a very rigorous process. That's in your own office. That information is there. It is so. I'm trying to make this make sense to me because it doesn't. Now I don't have the appreciation of the calmness that Mr. Ingram have, because when things literally does not make sense, my brain just blocks it out. And I can't see where this makes any kind of sense, because like it's been said before, there's a process where all of this could have been done by an email, a phone call. Submit your documents, we'll review them, and if we have any questions, they invite you to come in. What? Yeah. We moved away from that? You didn't want to see, and this is what I would close in saying. The IRS would represent the most efficient and effective tax force in the world. Will show up to your business, nicely plotted individuals in suits, and they could demand billions of dollars from a business, and you comply. And if there's any issues, it could go further into legal action, and then you could have the FBI show up. But they will not be bearing guns like this. Why are we trying to present ourselves always as persons who don't know how to do things right, when I believe we have the men and women in this country who know how the right way to do things, even in the area of tax collection?
Yeah. Wow. All right, we've got a few messages, running out of time, but let me get to some of these, get your responses to them. We're talking with Tim Ingram with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Leonard Sands with the Bahamian Contractors Association. This texter says here, what is it that these businessmen are saying? That these defense force people with guns were sent to their shops, but this is an attack on me, by the way, gentlemen. But you, Dwight, don't feel like we are already a communist country like China and Cuba, but full of crime and illegals. The government is hostile and going too far, waging war against Bahamians, and this is not acceptable. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well,
my comment, Dwight, is that it figuratively the business community with various things that have happened, whether it's the requirement for audits, whether it is the portal situation earlier in the year that didn't work, whether it's the not being able to get your business license, and we still have companies waiting for their business license even though they've complied with everything. But the business community has felt that it has been figuratively under attack, and yesterday it seemed that it is now literally being assaulted. So we've seen this escalation, and certainly the chamber and its members would like a very harmonious working relationship with the government. We'd like to sit with government authorities, and in fact, we have had some meetings recently with one or two ministers and discussed some very productive and progressive ideas to assist small businesses and small manufacturers in the country. And so it's not like the business community is sitting there and saying, well, we just want to make a bunch of profits and get make as much money as we can. Collectively, we are working and trying to work with the government to grow this economy, to grow small businesses and small entrepreneurs and manufacturers locally, because when this happens, we all benefit. If we are able to get small manufacturers going, let's say furniture manufacturers, those guys will be out buying the lumber from the hardwares, and all the rest of it. The hardwares will be importing more. The government will collect more on those things. And so, it's distressing to have to deal with the negative things when a lot of this energy, if we sat down around the table and discuss these things, a lot of this energy can be directed toward positive things and not dealing with the negative stuff.
Absolutely, Tim. And I think that one of the things that should be considered is the reputational impact certain actions will cause to a business. A business reputation can be damaged because people make assumptions, and the perceptions that are given as a result of an action taken are very hard to erase. So that should be something that's considered as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of people were speculating about this earlier in the week. Tim, you mentioned something like this about whether they would do this in stores downtown. This texter is asking, while these Gestapo-type tactics by International Revenue Services may not be new or may be new, anyway, connect the dots and ask those businesses that were raided, who are your major competitors and what links do they have to higher-ups? Oh, boy. What do you say to that, though, that they wouldn't do this to certain other businesses here in the country, and that
well, that becomes a question. I mean, you want to see that the policy is being applied evenly And if people perceive that the policy isn't being applied evenly, then they will ask questions. Well, why did you raid this one and not the other one? If you're working in a particular area, did you go into every store in that area? And maybe they did, and this is where information then becomes critical, or sharing information becomes critical. But there has to be there's a sense. People saw this happening on Carmichael Road. They heard that the officers were up and down on Carmichael Road. And so there was already some sentiments I heard yesterday with people saying, well, why are they doing this on Carmichael Road and not downtown or on West Bay Street or something like that? Why aren't they doing this with Atlantis and Bahama? And so those then become the questions, and other things get read into it, rightly or wrongly. It could be that that's nothing to do with it. But when people see things happening a certain way, they will draw their own conclusions, as I say, rightly or wrongly. So you need to be clear on what you're doing. It needs to be seen to be even-handed across the board, and so everyone should be suffering, quote unquote, the same thing.
Well, let's take this call really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Blend Business. Hi, good morning. Are you there? No, call us back. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or toll free, 242-300-5720. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Strachan.
Hi, good morning.
And to your guests. I'm encouraged to call because now we're talking about this fight that happened between the business community, the Bahamian business community specifically, and the government. What I want to ask is to the business owners, did the government issue a POS system to all registered VAT registered businesses? Hello?
Not as far as I'm aware. Every business uses whatever POS system suits them. But there is a government online tax portal where businesses are required to report this. The government does require, especially a business of CBS's size, it will require audited financials to show what exactly is going on in the business. So there are those things which they can look into. And they have the right to go in and inspect papers if they feel they need to.
Okay, because I said that to say is because when I read the VAT Act, I believe that was a stipulation, or as I said, or what I was suggesting to the government was, I don't understand why would they not issue a POS system, registered system to these businesses that they partner with to be able to see, because it's a partnership, what the transactions is daily are, so they know what VAT collections would it be.
Have you been into a government office any time recently where they told you the computers were down?
So
now you're going to try and link every business in the country. We have an issue in the country. You go to road traffic, they can't print your driver's license on certain days because of
half the cars on the island don't have license plates.
I don't think that's an effective way to do it. As I said, an audit allows accountants, and the VAT Act, as you read it, would have allowed for the government to send their own auditors in. If they don't trust Pricewaterhouse and the rest of them, they can send their own auditors in and say, show me every piece of paper linked to everything that you have in this store. They have that option, as you say, according to the VAT Act.
Right, because that's my concern is why would I not want to cut out all this red tape, connect a POS system that I could actually from inland check the businesses that could be flagged through the system if businesses aren't complying, where everything could just go from the back end through your back office. And so I don't understand why would they not even approach that or did that when they had the opportunity.
It's not practical. Only in countries, maybe North Korea and one or two other countries on earth, will you have something like that, because it's simply not practical for a government to go to every business and say, well, we want you to use our point of sale system. Businesses are different. Even businesses that look the same can be uniquely different. They have different needs. They have different setups. And so unless it's a government business, we can't even get all government entities on the same computer system, which should be a simple thing.
Yeah.
But the suggestion that everyone is on the same POS system is, in my mind, just not a workable suggestion at all. The government, for CBS Bahamas, the government through customs will see every item that CBS Bahamas has imported into the country, and so they can then tie those records into other records. In speaking with persons, Inland Revenue, Ministry of Finance, they have discovered that there have been persons who have been cheating on their taxes, and fine, go after them as hard as you can. How they find it is, you're a small store, and you tell the government you make $75,000 a year, so you're under the VAT threshold. But the government has the records from all of the wholesalers on the island, and when they put your name into their system, their linked system, they can see which wholesalers have sold to your store. And once they see wholesalers who's, there was one story told to us. There was one particular business who was declaring under 100,000 every year, and once they did the audits, the business was making $1 million a year.
Oh wow!
But they have that ability in house to do that. They don't need to go out with a gun to do that.
Yeah. Let's take this final call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your guests as well. Has the Prime Minister, who is the Minister of Finance, and Mr. Halkitis, who is the Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, has there been any kind of response from them? Have you tried to get one?
He's the Minister of Economic Affairs Development, but okay. I don't recall there being any response from them. Gentlemen?
We do plan to have a sit down with the Prime Minister to discuss this and other matters related to the business community. As I said, we'd like to have a amicable working relationship where we sit down and discuss matters and make suggestions on ways that they can achieve their goals. We know that they need revenue to run the country. There's no getting away from that. And we know that we're not going to have a properly run country if we don't have the revenue we need. So we're willing to sit down and have conversations with the government on how this can be done and done effectively.
We've got one final text here. I want to hear from both of you, especially you, Leonard, on this one. When I go to the food store and the bank, I sometimes encounter armed guards. I don't panic, nor do my kids. Who better to see with a weapon in their hands than a trained police officer? Tell your guests that they don't get to decide on how police arm themselves. What the... Oh boy! What? I don't think they ever see 6 officers walking through the supermarket with guns. I don't think they see that.
The grocery stores are on a schedule. They know when the armored cars are coming. They don't just randomly show up.
Right, and like I said, there won't be 6 of them walking through the aisles. But anyway, let's hear from you two.
Yeah, no. Very quickly, what I'd say is, there was a saying that they came for this one and I didn't say nothing. They came for the other one. I didn't say nothing. When they came for me, there was no one to protect me. When the police are knocking on your door to the texter and saying, well, you came through customs the other day and we noticed you didn't pay for the goods you bought at Macy's, or you misdeclared them, so we're going to collect your money. I don't know that you'd be so comfortable with policemen standing around with guns at that point.
Wow.
And so we have to, be careful where these things end.
Yeah. Leonard?
The only comment I would want to make to that, to Tim's point, is this. I would not like any business place to have the inconvenience of armed personnel coming there for an inspection, because I think, like the question said, it just sends the wrong message. Now, we haven't mentioned it. I'm going to go there. We all do not believe that 6 officers with machine guns is going to walk into the front door of Bahama, to walk through the casino to ask for receipts. We don't expect them to do that to Atlantis. We don't expect them to do it to any of the other major tourist centric places. So if we don't expect that's going to be the behavior at those places, why we as citizens think it is right for CBS Bahamas to have that experience, or the businesses that are not CBS Bahamas, the Wendy's, the Chinese, to whomever? We have to look at this and say, this is probably something necessary, but is this the best way to do it? And I think all right-thinking Bahamians would say, I believe there's a better way to do it. I would finally offer this. Go and do your inspection. You're welcome to do it. You could ask for some information. But I don't think that should be a part of the exercise. You go there with the intention of collecting monies. Then if you're not doing that, you don't need officers. That's my suggestion.
Okay. All right. We're going to leave it there. Leonard Sands, president of the Bahamian Contractors Association, and Tim Ingram, the chairman of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation. Thank you both for being with us this morning. Great conversation. All right. We're going to take a quick break and be back to wrap things up on Morning Blend Business. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center, your friendly and affordable vendor one-stop shop, where you can get all of your groceries, kids' lunch snacks, and vendor snacks items at the best prices in town. Don't believe us? Find us on Market Street in the red, white, and black building south of Chesapeake Road. We don't stock anything, we just buy deals, so you better get there first. Call us today at 698-0123 or WhatsApp 557-2522, or follow us on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. Remember, always make us your first stop.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The government began debate on the Securities Industries Bill 2024 and the Digital Assets and Registered Exchanges Bill 2024, the DARE bill, yesterday, with Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Philip Davis opening debate, contending that these two bills are critical to strengthening the regulatory framework that supports the country's financial services sector. Davis says that these amendments will foster growth in the industry and ensure greater security in transactions. He commended the Securities Commission of the Bahamas for its work in preparing the pieces of legislation that ensure the Bahamas operates at the highest international standards. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Business section. The BNSI, the Bahamas National Statistical Institute, recording a 0.5% decrease in the inflation rate for the month of April when compared to March of this year in its Consumer Price Index for April 2024. The BNSI explained that the decrease is a reflection of the overall prices of goods purchased by the average consumer during the review period. The Institute saying that the decrease follows a 1.6% increase in the inflation rate between February and March. And SunCash has inked deals with Cirrus, Visa, and MasterCard that will allow customers to withdraw money from SunCash's automated teller machines, ATMs, using their commercial bank credit cards. SunCash's business development manager, Sean Smith, telling Guardian Business that the company's enhanced ATMs are already in use in North Andros, and SunCash will retrofit in other ATMs countrywide within the coming weeks. Enhanced ATMs will also be installed in Bimini and Long Island. Overseas, thousands of doctors in England are staging their 11th walkout today in a long-running dispute with the government over pay and working conditions, disrupting hospital services just days before the UK general election. The 5-day strike by junior doctors, those in the early years of their careers, shines a spotlight on the troubles besetting the chronically underfunded National Health Service, Britain's state-run public health system, a topic that is a top concern for voters going to the polls on July 4th. Junior doctors who form the backbone of hospital and clinic care have been locked in the pay dispute with the government since late 2022. They went on strike for 6 days in January, the longest in NHS history, and hospitals had to cancel tens of thousands of appointments and operations. The latest strike began today and ends on Tuesday, just 2 days before voters cast their ballots for the new House of Commons. And it's a scenario that apparently terrifies the American auto industry. Chinese automakers are setting up shop in Mexico to exploit North American trade rules. Once in place, they will send likely ultra-low-priced electric vehicles streaming into the United States. As the Chinese EVs go on sale across the country, American homegrown EVs costing an average of $55,000, roughly double the price of the Chinese counterparts, struggle to compete. And factories Well, they are afraid factories may close and workers may lose their jobs. That's the scenario that is terrifying the American auto industry. Low-priced Chinese EVs pose a potentially extinction-level event for America's auto industry, according to the Alliance for American Manufacturing. The trade deal that Beijing could potentially exploit, the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, was negotiated by the Trump administration, enacted in 2020. Its rules could let Chinese autos assembled in Mexico enter the United States either duty-free or at a nominal 2.5% tariff rate. Closer to home, in your Market Watch recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday. Your market movers, Bank of the Bahamas moving 1,200 shares, closing unchanged at 434. Commonwealth Brewery moving 200, unchanged at 1050. Kalina Holdings moving 200, unchanged at 1125. Focall moving 3,000, up 16 cents to 516. Consolidated Water up 1 cent to 504. And Emir Incorporated down 5 cents, closing at 814. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,938.75, up 0.12. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Duquesa, the text messages are amazing. Boy, they are really something. We've got to put these in a book or something, and put these on an online portal that people have to pay for to see. Anyway, Duquesa Dean, thank you for being here on a Thursday. I'll see you.
I had a great day.
Next week, Tuesday, right?
Yeah, I'll see you on Tuesday.
All right. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.